Well, I just got in. I spent the whole friggin' day at our local Occupy Kelowna, which I think it's so important to videotape what's going on in these meetings, because these would blow your mind away what's going on. I wish I could have a camera there and videotape the whole friggin' thing, because it is so amazing. It's so friggin' powerful. It is like, I have zero pain when I'm around there. It's the conversations is, I mean, everybody's got ideas, and everybody is so freaking intelligent. I've never ever seen this level of intelligence anywhere in one room in my entire life. I have not been able to communicate with people that are on the same level as me, that have a grasp on reality, that even know the sciences of quantum physics. I mean, when we really get into the scientific terminology, these are technical people that are so outside of the box. So I can't even express. I just wish some of the conversations I wish I had a tape and just let you inside some of these conversations, because it is so powerful. And some of these are kids that have been on the street since they were like 12. And like this one girl's story, she was really young, a lot of abuse, but she could see the world from a totally different perspective. I can't even comprehend how to describe the conversation, but she's 28. The most, I mean, if you just be anywhere around this girl, the love this girl oozes is, I've never been in the presence of somebody that has that level of love inside her. Calm, her voice, the way she speaks, it's so enlightening. It's so, I've never ever experienced this in my life before. So what basically is happening with our Occupy, it's really small. I guess it started with just one guy who just had a sign, and the police were there carrying him away, saying you can't be here. And it's like, what are you talking about? You know, I have the right. And somebody else overheard the conversation, and the police officer says, if you support him, we're going to arrest you too. So this is here in Kelowna, that as soon as one person stood up with a sign, he was threatened to be arrested if he didn't walk away, and he was just by himself. And then another girl who has 5 kids, who looks after a lot of homeless kids, overheard the conversation. As soon as she was told, if you support him, you'll be arrested too. So she just sat her ass down and says, well, it looks like I support him. What are you going to do next? So it just, I guess, started off with 2, then it went to 4, and then it multiplied and multiplied. Yesterday, I'd say there's probably around 50 people. I'd say today there was probably 20 people, because people that are down there are living in poverty. So any support that anybody can give right now would be helpful in just starting things off. When I went down there, there was no structure or organization to it. They were just a group of people that were just sort of wandering all over the place. And it's like, you know, I had transportation issues. If I'm going to come down here all the time, I need transportation. And I won't even be able to protest because I can't even afford to come down there all the time. And everybody is sort of in the same boat. So we do have to put up tents, because we're leaving. We're only there, the police are kicking everybody out at 11. So we're not even able to be there, because the police, they've showed up, I think for the amount of people that were there last night was equal amount of police. And they had the paddy wagons, they had everything out there. So our group is really small, and it's very intimidating. But as soon as we're allowed to get structure, they're going to a meeting at town council tomorrow at 1. So basically today was just wandering in the chaos, because we've structured our meetings, but we need areas for heat because it's freaking cold. So we do need tents. There's a huge amount of homeless people that if they put a tent or even a blanket, they will get fined $500. So here in Canada, where it's freezing, the town of Kelowna believes that homeless people shouldn't even have a blanket in the cold of winter. This is how we treat human beings in Kelowna. So what it is that we want to do is have a tent city that they're objecting to. They may give us, like, there's different things that we're doing to, but what our goal is to provide the homeless at least a warmer winter with a tent to sleep in for this winter during our Occupy. We are speaking for those who can't speak for themselves. And you know what? They got a voice. They can sober up when they know that they are able to get a voice. So in the meantime, the level of pain that they're in, there's so much friggin' love there that just the love is healing for them, because they've been waiting for this moment for a long time, but they can't get people to even understand. They're so advanced, if you really know how to communicate with these people, because they've seen the system broken way before any of us did. That's why they're homeless, because they can't fit within these systems that they see are actually causing harm. They're actually killing people. People on the street actually know. They can see the human footprint of everything that's wrong within our systems, but they can't communicate it because it's so painful, especially if you're calling them bums and like Russell Simmons says, the undeserving. There are people that are dealing with mental health issues. It's severe mental health issues that are homeless on the street. So when our camera guys, the news media comes out, what they're videotaping, I don't know if they are doing this or not, but it is so easy for them to manipulate this into looking like it's just a bunch of bumps. And it's not. These are homeless people that are not getting proper medical care. And I don't even want to throw that out, because it is the medical community that even says, hey, you know what, let them be homeless. So as long as they've fucked up there, I don't even want to rely on the medical system for the medical health and safety of these people. Our group is now forming and is now going to care for those that need our care. So this is what the goal is right now, is we've gotten as many people, contacting as many people to try and show up for this meeting at 1:30 tomorrow. Then I suspect we're going to need tents. We do have a finance department, so once everything gets started, I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to raise money once we see that, you can't ask for sleeping bags unless you are able to stay there. Right now you have to we can't even stay there past 11, because the police are showing a really big force and nobody wants to join the movement because of the level of police force, and nobody really wants to go to jail. This is a movement in this area that we don't want any violence, and we are not going to antagonize them in any way, shape, or form. We want to make them do the right thing because they can see it's the right thing. We're going to make them, because we have a municipal election coming up in just a couple of months, so if we make them appear like they don't care about the homeless and people that are in need, it's going to hurt them in the election. So I think we've got a little bit going on there. It is a very, very small town, very wealthy, very, very greedy town. I've kind of come to the conclusion that these protests, if they don't show up in your town, that means you just got that much greed going on, because the greed prevents these occupies from taking place. They just won't allow it. So greed overtakes poverty, and they're very, very powerful when a city is not entitled to have an Occupy. Let's face it, this is a global problem. Everybody is dealing with this, so if it's not in your town, something's wrong. So it's almost like you want your town to be represented in this global movement. If you're not getting support from your community to have these, then you're basically admitting to the world that, yeah, we're really greedy as hell. You know, we want to destroy the planet. We want to destroy the economy. We don't give a shit about humanity. We don't care if they live or die, as long as I make a buck. So it's like, that is what you're saying if you don't support your Occupy movements in your local areas. But it is really interesting that how it ended up starting is, for anybody that wants to start in your own area, start by what is it you want to accomplish in a week, and then get the description of everything it is that you want to accomplish within 1 week, and then get all of your requirements that you need to get done to get that happening. So it was like, okay, I have transportation issues, so we need to have a committee on transportation. We need food because everybody's down there. It's, nobody can afford to eat around that area, so we're going to need food. So we're having a committee that's going to be dealing with food. So we're going to be developing other committees the more our needs grow. So we're constantly going to be able to change and shift around what it is we're doing, but we're only dealing with a week. What can we accomplish in a week? Then we're going to have other meetings to see what else we want to accomplish. What's the next stage? What's the next goal of what it is that we're going to be working on? Now, some of the things that I'm seeing is we want to definitely get connected with every other Occupy. Because this is global, and we need to connect with each other and see that we're all on the same page as where we want to head. So we're hoping that the rest of the globe feels the same way. And there's a lot of innovation. It's like the globe is hiring, and there's a ton of work that needs to be done, and we have all of the solutions to do it. So we're working out this new economic system of how we're able to get it done. And there's so many people coming forward that is, this guy's got one economic system, I've got mine, and they're all merging. It's like, okay, I can see where your fits into mine. It's like the pieces of the puzzle are coming together, and it's like everybody's got to let go of a little bit of something about their idea to see how our puzzle fits together with everybody's idea. And it's so amazing because people are looking at everything from completely different perspectives. So your tunnel vision in yours, and you can see how it's going to work for you. And so somebody else has an idea of how it works for them. So generally when you get in a conversation, it's you're wrong, or you just don't give the level of respect and listening to the other person, because everybody's really firm that their idea is the best. But I'm really, really loving the way that we can all be sort of in that disagreement, but we're hanging into the conversation to find out where is the agreement and where is it that we want to head off. Do we really want this to happen? If we can see a flaw within it, do we want it? Is it easy to let go? And then the conversation just flows into another one. And the whole day, even though it was a lot of chaos and everybody was just standing around and didn't look like much was happening and didn't look like there was many of us, we were all having our individual conversations. There was one guy that was a film producer that I talked to him for hours and hours and hours about, I think I had a good 2 or 3 hour conversation with him. Got his business card, but like, the conversations are blow your mind away. I never knew in the world there's other like-minded people like me, and it's like they're all around me now. So it's so freaking cool. I suggest that if you are not out at an Occupy, you need to get yourself out there. And if there isn't one, you need to get yourself starting one. Be the change. Put yourself out there with one sign, because it does multiply. And it's just the most magical thing, that it's got a life of its own, and it's so loving. Everybody wants change. Everybody's ready for the change. Nobody's angry. Everybody's coming with these stories, but nobody's stuck in the pain of the stories. We're stuck in the solutions of everything, and we come with one problem that we're going to just overcome. So it is the most beautiful experience I have ever had. So I suggest that if you haven't started one, get going, because just connecting with other human beings on that level and watching something grow from, it is truly the most amazing experience I've ever had. So anybody that wants to help donate, would help in the initial stages, because there's transportation problems and food problems, and I don't know how I'm gonna. My money's spent before I even got it, basically. So I don't know how I'm gonna handle this month, but I do know that there's probably going to be a lot of community support once people see that we're a permanent structure. I think we'll get help. So peace out, love to you all.